Let's get it, man. Like, share, subscribe. Shout out to the greatest nation since United Nations. We in the building. All glory be to God. Let your light shine. Let's talk about it. This is crazy. Doja Cat, she literally is sitting here bragging about holding young gripe against her brother. Her mom just got a permanent, I never knew you could get this, a permanent ban from him to ever be around her. So he can never, ever at any given time be anywhere around his mom. That's crazy. Let's talk about it because that's wicked. That's really wicked. To want nothing to do with family that they're permanently not allowed to be around you. That's incredible. But she got that money like that. Let's talk about Doja Cat's choice. Okay? We're starting at Ephesians chapter 4, 31st verse to the 32nd. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be ye kind one to another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So no matter what you're going through, you need to treat others like God will want you to. The reason you don't get vengeance because God will. It doesn't matter how bad you want it. Vengeance is done by God. God decides what needs to happen to anyone at any given time. You must obey God, period. All right, let's talk about it. Now, let's mention it. Matthew chapter 6, the 14th verse to the 15th verse. It's about forgiveness, okay? Or basically, let's say, words of prayer, things, the devotion you need to put into life, no matter what you're going through. So you guys need to check that out. You need to put that into motion in order for you to become, let's say, gentle and understandable in God's eyes. Right there, Matthew chapter 6, the 14th to the 15th verse, forgiving with words and never, and in prayer, going with everything. But you always forgive, okay? Now let's talk about Romans chapter 12, verse 17 to the 21st. It's about behavior of your man-to-man action. Your behaviors concerning other men should be open and kind. You should treat other men like you would want to be treated. You should do kindness to other men, not to get into heaven, but to honor other men as men and what their stance is. You do kindness. God looks at acts of kindness as your heart fitting into where he needs it to be. Not that he needs you in heaven, but showing him that you are fluent in obeying his law and treating other men properly. That is what an upstanding man does, okay? Now let's talk about it. This is important. Mark chapter 11, verse 25. Forgive or else, okay? This is what I title it, The Understanding. Read Mark chapter 11, verse 25. It's very serious. Either you forgive or God doesn't forgive you. That's simple. So when you're forgiving people, and you know, people holding grudges, that's what I'm talking to Doja Cat about. Doja, hey, amen. You don't forgive your brother or anything for that matter. I know your squeaky voice. I'll be up there listening to your lives. I know you be up there. You listen. Doja, if you don't forgive him, God's not going to forgive you, nor will he care to know you. You're going to go straight to hell. You need to forgive him. And you joke up there, you know I got you. Yo, you remind me of a lot of different chicks that used to be down chilling with the guys type. I understand you. I know you. I'm telling you, if you don't be forgiving your brother, I know God's not going to forgive you. This is what you're saying, and you're standing on it. Your mom got a permanent ban from him. Come on now, man. Because he knocked your teeth out at 5 years old. Man, permanent? Man, you need to consolidate that. God's going to blame you for that. Ephesians 5:11. You sat there while your mom did it. You're going to be blamed for that. You're going to get in trouble. You need to be responsible and say, Mom, I got the money. We're going to get everything right. Get the teeth fixed. That's whatever, Mom. But you're not saying anything. Therefore, you're going to be held responsible. Just because you sit there and linger, oh, it's not my choice, doesn't mean God don't hold you responsible. Ephesians 5:11, once again. Man, do the same thing, because next is going to be Romans 3:4. Stop. What you doing? Speaking of that, Proverbs chapter 9, verse 19, verse 11. Actually, 19, verse 11. This is where we're getting here. All right. We have forgiving else and forgiving others blesses you. Period. Okay, go through, guys. Read Proverbs chapter 19, verse 11. You got to read these for yourself. I wouldn't talk about them, but I want you to read it so it prints in your soul, so you understand it. When you forgive people, you get your blessings. Understand that because you forgave someone else, God may bless you. Let's just say theoretically with $10,000 you need it next week. But you won't see that blessing if you do not forgive others and hold sins against them, because that's God's business. You don't do God's duty. Okay? That's God's job. You don't need to do it. God can do his job alone. You need to forgive others, treat others with love and respect, and do the things that God expects of you in character. That's the most important thing. That's when we get deeper into Proverbs, and we're going to get there with another story. I'm looking story by story, guys. Understand, these aren't even the stories that I had lined up before my computer thing, yo. I have over like 300 stories lined up, not even these, and they're serious, so they got to be read, yo. But ultimately, I'm trying to have you understand the depth that it comes to when serving God. You're going to deal with adversity. You're going to deal with adverse situations, bad people, bad things happening. But you have to go to scripture and let God lead you. If God doesn't lead you, the deceiver leads you. If you don't cling to God and ask him when you're in situations really trying to understand, he's not going to be there to help you. Which means when people go, oh, God, and blame God, no, shut up. It's not God. You didn't ask God for help. So stop blaming God. That's what they do. That's what they do in the movies. They're trying to convince you to blame God for everything, but it's not true. You got to do responsibilities and works yourself as a grown man or woman. Don't matter gender. Just matters you doing your part so God can do the rest. That's how it goes. That's how the game works. And the scriptures, I have them down below. I quoted them in the thing. Look them up and check the books out. If you check them out, that is the power you need. We're going to go through, I'm going to have a breakdown talking about each book, what derives and the powers that come from, and understanding. We're going to break this all down, all the way down, because these guys are liars. They don't want you to know this book. And again, we're working to the reason why. And I'm going to explain everything. Piece by piece by piece. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.